Hello and welcome to Finextra TV. I'm Hannah Wallace and we're here at Money 2020 in Amsterdam. With me now in the press lounge is Andreas Burner and Jethro MacDonald from SmartStream. Hello to the both of you. Thank you very much for taking the time out of the busy event to join me in the press lounge.
Hello, Hannah.
Hello, thank you for having us.
Really good to have you here. We're talking about big data, crypto, technology, all really big topics, of course, at this year's Money 2020. But I want to begin first by homing in on big data. Andreas, coming to you first then. With the rise of digital payments, financial institutions are facing really high levels of transactions to process. So what's helping ease the burden there?
So big data is really a subject here at Money 2020. We see growing volumes, specifically in the last 3 years. There was a change in the number of volumes. And with big data, I think there are two really main concepts. One is cloud and cloud native technology specifically, because when we see billions of records, it's really hard to scale a computer system up to processing that in hours or even minutes. We have invested a lot in cloud native technologies. So our hardware scales out with the data. So when we get high processing volumes, we can use 1,000 machines to process that in parallel and return the results quickly. And that is key for the business. They want to identify problems or breaks actually very quickly to then cope with those. And the second thing is AI and machine learning technology, of course, that helps with learning how a certain business processes a transaction, and then applying that and pre-processing records, so that when a user comes in, many of the things he has to do are already processed, and he just adds that extra bit or verifies that it was processed correctly.
All right, that's interesting. Thank you very much for bringing us up to date then. So would you say we're seeing an increase in adoption of low-code, no-code technologies, and how are these replacing the traditional application developments?
So low-code, no-code is a very important subject, because it changes from a purely code-driven and static setup to a very dynamic setup. So when you think about it, we've been through crisis and COVID and so on, and companies always had to change their rules and their codes to cope with the changes of the market. When we do AI and machine learning and low code, it means that the system automatically adopts after a few days, and that gives businesses the chance to adopt quickly and easily. And there's a second element to it where users find it much easier to set up a system when it comes to low-code systems.
Yeah, I can completely agree with Andreas, and I guess the other thing as well is we're seeing, now that business owners can actually configure themselves, it gives them back that control which they didn't have before. Because if you look at the kind of traditional model maybe 3-4 years ago, they'd have to go out to IT, define the business requirements, explain exactly what they need the technology team to do, then implement it, test it, and do all that work, whereas now they can do all that themselves. So it gives them back that control that they really need.
All right, okay, so that's a positive note to lead off then. So I want to talk a bit more about the crypto space. Would you say that fintechs are becoming more accepting of these new technologies such as AI, machine learning, cloud native applications, and how is it giving them that advantage?
Yeah, of course. So, one of the things that we're obviously seeing is they're really quick and early adopters of this new technology. So they're using cloud native technology themselves, right? If you look at the crypto space, it's a live 24-hour market, which is completely different to equities or anything like that, where they have closing times and they can do refurbishment on the system. Whereas for crypto exchanges, they're always live, they're always trading, and for us to sell to them the idea of cloud technology and the advantages that it had, it's a very quick and easy sale. Likewise with AI and machine learning, you understand the power of that technology, kind of being high users of innovative technology.
All right, thank you very much, Jethro. Some really interesting insights there. I'll let you get back to the event so you can share them with the rest of the delegates, but thank you very much for sharing your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.